This morning's sermon is going to be coming out of John chapter 6. There's going to be a few different passages in it. But we're going to be starting out at John 6, verse 35. Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will not hunger, and he who believes in me will never thirst. But I said to you that you have seen me, and you do not believe. All that the Father has given me will come to me, and the ones who come to me I will certainly not cast out. For I have come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me. This is the will of him who sent me, that all that he has given me, I lose nothing, but I raise it up on the last day. For this is the will of my Father, that everyone who beholds the Son and believes in him will have eternal life, and I myself will raise him up on the last day. Now, that can be kind of a confusing saying. Jesus says, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never hunger and thirst. Now, we can't truly take that literal. We don't come, bow on our knees at the altar of salvation, and we never have to eat again. Be nice. We could all be nice and skinny and never have to worry about putting on weight, but that ain't what Jesus is talking about. Now, there's times that people want to try and split hairs and go spiritual and physical. Jesus is talking about our second portion. We as human beings have a physical nature and we have a spiritual nature. Now, he who comes to Christ will never hunger and thirst again. But this isn't saying, after I leave church today, I'm not going to be hungry and want to go home and sit down and have a nice big meal, maybe a hamburger or a steak. It's saying, those of you who seek Christ and seek to know him will not hunger spiritually. Paul talks all too often about feeding the spiritual side. Paul says, well, I feed you now with milk because you're not ready for meat. Jesus is talking in the simplest terms and giving us milk, saying, if you come to me, I will make sure you never hunger or thirst again. If you keep coming to me. Now, in our lives, every human is born with a God-shaped hole in their heart. Now, what they choose to fill that with until they come to Christ varies for each and every different person. For some of these people, they're going to fill their lives seeking after popularity, seeking after fame, seeking after money, seeking after fun. But the thing is, when you've got that God-shaped hole in your heart, no matter what you try and fill it with, it will never be filled. It will never be enough. If you're trying to fill it with drugs, you're just going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. If you're trying to fill it with popularity, you're just going to strive harder and harder. Some people let their God be work, and they want to just work and bring in more and more money. But it's never enough. There's only one thing that can fill that hole. That's why it's a God-shaped hole. And this is the hole that Jesus is talking about when he says, if you come to me, you will never hunger or thirst again. That insatiable desire that's driving you, that thing that you're longing for that you just can't reach, it's just out of your reach. No matter how hard you try, it's because you're reaching for the wrong thing. You can't fill it with anything but God. Now there's a little bit that goes on here. First off, you can only fill it with God, and yes, you'll never hunger or thirst again. But you have to keep going back. If you just get saved and say, okay, now I'm done, and sit back, you may not feel the spiritual desire and hunger in you, but you're not going to grow if you don't feed it. Just as with our physical bodies, we have to feed it if we plan on it being able to have energy to make it through the day. If you're one of those that wakes up, good way to think of it, if you've got to have your cup of coffee to get going for the day, physically, you also spiritually need a cup of coffee every morning to get going for the day, to get your head set right, to get your day started off on the right foot, so that you can help be a light, a witness, and an example, so that you continue to grow, so that you continue to flourish. But in this imagery, we can also take, Jesus says, He is the bread of life. Through Him, we are given life. We are also, see, the book of John, I love it because it's so full of the I am passages. This is one of the great I am passages. I am the bread of life.